Day 5 of the Sefer Chofetz Chaim, Daily Companion. The Sefer structure. So we're going to talk about the structure of the book right now, of the Sefer, how we're going to be learning it. And one thing about Judaism, which I love, is that we have something called a Seder, which is an order. There's an order to doing everything. And people need structure in life. The most common Seder that all Jews know about, doesn't matter if what level of Judaism that they are, is a Seder from Passover. And the Seder from Passover means the order of the way we do things on that night, the Seder. So, we're going to learn about the Seder of this book. Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and we're still in the introduction. Sefer Chofetz Chaim made it possible for the first time for a person to study the laws of Lashon Hara in an organized fashion. Oh yeah. The Chofetz Chaim writes, I wrote the Sefer where I gathered all the halachas, the Torah laws, that were scattered throughout the Talmud and the writings of halacha pertaining to Torah law authorities, especially the Rambam, Smag, and Shari Tshuva, authored by Rabbeinu Yonah of Grona. Before delving into the subject matter of the Sefer, the Chofetz Chaim describes its overall structure and the guidelines under which it is written. He begins, I divided the Sefer, the book, into two parts. The first is the laws of Lashon Hara, and the second is a section is Hilchas Vikulas, the laws pertaining to gossip. Lashon Hara and the laws pertaining to gossip. I then divide the laws into chapters, and each chapter into several segments. So we have the chapters and the subchapters to it. I added illustrations, which I'm going to show inside the book, so that a person could receive practical advice on how to be careful in given situations. So yes, this is a picture book. I named the Sefer Chofetz Chaim for the verse, Mi ha'ish Chofetz Chaim netzer l'shonecha meira. Who is the man who wants life? Guard your tongue from evil. It's beautiful. We get this from Tehillim, Psalms. Because I wanted the Sefer to be accessible as possible, I then separated the material into two parts. The essence in which the law, halacha, that is derived after careful study and analysis, I called Mikor HaChaim, source of life. I gave it this name because speech, excuse me, is the essence of life, as we see from the verse, Vayhi ha'adam lenefesh chaya, and man became a living being, which Onkelos, who was a commentary, translates as a speaking being. We are the only, unless you want to include dolphins, but we're the only animal species that actually has a language, and we communicate through this language. So we are the speaking being. If dolphins speak, can they speak Lashon Hara? If you want to know the answer to that, please see Rabbi Jack. The body of sources and clarifications of each halacha I named Bir Mayim Chaim, wellspring of living fresh water, because these sources were the well from which I drew Mikor HaChaim. Know, my brother, that for every point that is mentioned in this work, I cite the source in Bir Mayim Chaim. The reason why he's so careful, he so carefully cites the sources, explains the Chofetz Chaim, is so that it should be clear to everyone that whatever is mentioned in the Sefer is not in any way debatable or optional. Everything here is halacha, as required of each and every Jew. We're not talking about stringencies. We're talking about halacha. This is it. This is what we know, and this is what we go by. So heed the words here. It's very, very important. There's no right or left in looking at this. Straightforward. The Chofetz Chaim offers us strong medicine. He understood that this is what is needed to lift us from the complacency from which is so easily felt with regard to Lashon Hara. This is going to be a gut punch. It's not going to be sugar-coated. It's going to be how it is. In his writing, the Chofetz Chaim carefully avoids exaggerations and overstatements. Yet he ends this section by stating, when one will ponder the sin of Lashon Hara and understand its significance, the hair on his head will stand on edge for the magnitude of this sin. And the Chofetz Chaim is not exaggerating. It's big. It's a very big sin. And we all have to pay attention to it. And we have to make sure that we never, ever speak it.